Behind the laughter of America's favorite junkyard lay a reality of crushing debt, broken hearts, and tragic ends that the cameras never showed. Do you still remember Sanford and Son, the legendary show that made the nation laugh with its sharp-tongued humor, constant bickering, and the unforgettable bond between a father and his son? But behind those bright studio lights, those laughs were actually bought with immense pain, addiction, bankruptcy, and shocking deaths. Let's uncover the hidden truth behind the scenes and honor the legacy left behind by these icons. Redd Foxx was born John Elroy Sanford on December 9, 1922 in St. Louis, Missouri. At 50 years old, he took on the role of Fred G. Sanford, the loud-mouthed but lovable junk dealer who turned grumbling into a high art form. His portrayal of the cranky old man with a golden heart made millions of Americans laugh every Friday night. However, when the studio lights faded, Fox's laughter slowly turned into sighs. His career following the show never reached the same heights, as projects like The Redd Foxx Show and The Royal Family fizzled out quickly. As his fame faded, he fell into drinking and drug use, while his fortune vanished due to reckless spending and overwhelming tax debt. Eventually, the IRS raided his home and seized everything, leaving a man who once earned millions completely broke. His 4 marriages were a chain of heartbreaks. His first wife left quietly, the second took him to court over money, and the third sued him for emotional abuse. His last wife, Kaho Cho, stayed until the end, witnessing his decline in both health and spirit. Stress, addiction, and isolation took a heavy toll, and though his net worth was estimated at $3.5 million, he was a fallen legend. On October 11, 1991, while rehearsing for The Royal Family, Foxx collapsed from a real heart attack. It was a tragic irony after years of faking them as a gag on the show. He died at age 68, and after Eddie Murphy paid for the funeral, he was laid to rest at Palm Memorial Park in Las Vegas. Demond Wilson, born October 13, 1946 in Valdosta, Georgia, was 26 when he played the hot-tempered yet intelligent son, Lamont Sanford. Thanks to his natural chemistry with Redd Foxx, he became one of the most recognizable faces of the 1970s. But after the series, he found that Hollywood rarely forgives those typecast as someone's son. Projects like Baby I'm Back and The New Odd Couple failed, leading Wilson into addiction, depression, and a loss of direction. The pressure of being forgotten almost made him give up entirely. However, in the 1980s, after his first marriage collapsed, Wilson turned to faith. He quit drugs, studied theology, and became an evangelical minister. In his memoir, Second Banana, he wrote that he lost fame and money just to gain true peace. Through faith, he rebuilt his life and devoted himself to charity. Today, at 79, he lives in California with his wife and 6 children, preaching and writing books. With a net worth of $2.5 million from royalties and religious writings, he lives a life of humility and quiet strength. LaWanda Page was born October 19, 1920 in Cleveland, Ohio. At 52, she joined the show as the Bible-wielding, sharp-tongued Aunt Esther Anderson. She became an iconic figure of black television, but her real life was full of long, lonely nights. After the show, her spotlight dimmed as she struggled with small roles and faced prejudice and discrimination in the industry. Her love life was turbulent, beginning with a marriage at age 14 to a violent man named John Peel. This left her with deep emotional and physical scars. Her second husband abandoned her, leaving her to raise their daughter alone, and her final marriage ended in separation. Over time, she grew distant from her daughter, Clara. On September 14, 2002, Page died in Los Angeles from diabetes complications at age 81. She left behind a modest $500,000 net worth, a small reward for 6 decades of laughter and struggle. Don Bexley, born March 10, 1910 in Jamestown, Virginia, was 62 when he joined as Bubba Bexley. His raspy voice and warm smile made him a beloved character, but years of hardship lay behind the scenes. His career never escaped the shadow of the show, and he faced serious financial troubles as residual checks barely covered his bills. Even while suffering from heart and kidney disease, he kept writing scripts, hoping to return to the stage. Bexley's marriage to Ruth in 1942 was a quiet tragedy. Money troubles led to constant arguments, and they separated after 2 decades. He married twice more, but both unions lasted only months. Loneliness weighed heavily on him in his final years. He passed away on April 15, 1997, at age 87, leaving a net worth of $300,000. Whitman Maya was born November 15, 1930, in New York City. At 42, he played Fred's forgetful friend Grady, famous for the line, "Good goobly goo." His success was a burden. His spin-off, Grady, was canceled quickly, and he couldn't revive his fame. Financial pressure led to a spiral of smoking, sleepless nights, and chronic stress. Despite heart problems, he worked tirelessly to pay off debts. Mayo went through 3 marriages. The first 2 fell apart under the weight of his struggles and financial hardship. He finally found peace with his wife Gail Reed, but he deeply regretted the distance between himself and his children during his broke years. He was proud of his son, Ron Mayo, who became a politician. Whitman Mayo died of a heart attack on May 22, 2001, at age 70, with a net worth of $1 million. Hal Williams was born December 14, 1930, in Columbus, Ohio. He was 42 when he became Officer Smitty Smith, providing balance to the show's chaos. He continued to find work in 227 and Private Benjamin, but his career was never lucrative. He had to take extra work in voice acting and commercials just to make ends meet. Williams married twice, but both ended in divorce. He admitted that financial strain and work pressure drove them apart. Now 87, he lives a quiet life in California with a net worth of $1 million. He believes his legacy lives on as long as his character can still make someone laugh. Nathaniel Taylor, born March 31, 1938, played the smooth-talking Rollo Lawson. When the show ended, producers only saw him as Rollo, and as roles dried up, he sank into addiction and debt. A 1986 arrest for theft destroyed his reputation. His personal life was filled with arguments and instability, despite a long marriage to Loretta Taylor and 7 children. In his later years, he tried to redeem himself by opening an acting workshop for youth. He died of heart failure in 2021 at age 80, leaving a net worth of $300,000. Howard Platt, born June 5, 1938, played the awkward officer Hoppy Hopkins. While he became a recognizable face on TV, he struggled with 2 failed marriages that left deep emotional scars. Loneliness and a stagnating career pushed him toward theater and teaching. Now 87, he lives simply in Illinois with a net worth of $1 million. He believes his legacy lives on as long as his character can still make someone laugh. Gregory Sierra was born January 25, 1937, in Manhattan. He joined the cast as Julio Fuentes, the polite neighbor. Despite an Emmy nomination for other work, Hollywood typecast him as a criminal or fiery Latin, which eventually drove him away from the spotlight. His life was marked by sorrow. His second wife took her own life just 2 years after their wedding. Devastated, he withdrew from public life. When he was diagnosed with cancer, he refused aggressive treatment and died on January 4, 2021, at age 83, with a net worth of $2 million. Lynn Hamilton, born April 25, 1930, played Fred's girlfriend, Donna Harris. She was a symbol of poise, but she felt a deep professional wound when she wasn't invited back for the show's 1980 return. She found enduring love with her husband Frank Jenkins, staying with him for 49 years until his death. She passed away on June 19, 2025, at age 95. She left her $4 million net worth to a foundation supporting aging actresses. Raymond Allen, born March 5, 1929, played the tipsy Uncle Woody Anderson. Behind his charming performance, his career faded due to chronic health issues and alcoholism. After his marriage collapsed in 1977, he fell into depression and isolation. He died on August 10, 2020, at age 91, with a modest net worth of $500,000. Do you still remember the legendary show Sanford and Son, the series that made all of America laugh with its sharp-tongued humor, constant bickering, and that unforgettable father-son bond? While the studio lights were bright, those laughs were often bought with a heavy price of pain, addiction, bankruptcy, and sudden deaths that left fans in absolute shock. Today, we are uncovering the truth of what happened behind the scenes and honoring the legacy left behind by this iconic cast. We also remember Don Bexley, who played Fred's loyal but clumsy friend, Bubba Bexley. Born on March 10, 1910, in Jamestown, Virginia, he joined the cast at age 62. With his raspy voice and awkward charm, Bubba became one of the show's most beloved supporting characters. Yet behind the humor lay years of hardship. His career never escaped the shadow of Sanford and Son, and though he had roles in What's Happening and Vibes, he could never restore his former fame. Bexley faced serious financial troubles as small residual checks barely covered his bills, while aging took a toll on his body. In his later years, he suffered from heart and kidney disease, but continued writing scripts, hoping to return to the stage. His marriage was also a quiet tragedy. He married Ruth, a former nightclub dancer, in 1942, and they had 3 children. As his career faltered, financial frustration led to constant arguments, and after more than 2 decades, they separated quietly, leaving wounds that never healed. He married twice more, but both unions lasted only months. Loneliness weighed heavily on him as he grew older, and on April 15, 1997, Don Bexley passed away in Hampton, Virginia, at age 87, from heart and kidney failure. He left behind an estimated net worth of $300,000. Whitman Mayo, who played Fred's kind but forgetful friend Grady Wilson, was born on November 15, 1930, in New York City. At age 42, he became famous for his trademark line, "Good goobly goop." His success, however, was both a blessing and a burden. Mayo was given his own spin-off, Grady, in 1975, but it was canceled after only a few episodes due to low ratings. Later appearances couldn't revive his fading fame, and financial pressure led him into a spiral of heavy smoking, sleepless nights, and chronic stress. His health deteriorated as heart problems emerged, yet he kept working tirelessly just to pay off his debts. His personal life involved 3 marriages, with the first 2 failing under the weight of financial hardship. It was only when he met Gail Reed, who stayed with him until the end, that he finally found peace. His greatest regret was the distance between himself and his children during the years he couldn't support them, though he remained proud of his son, Ron Mayo, who became a respected politician. On May 22, 2001, Whitman Mayo passed away from a heart attack at age 70. His net worth was approximately $1 million, earned mainly from teaching and television. Hal Williams, who played Officer Smitty Smith, was born on December 14, 1938, in Columbus, Ohio. Joining the show at 34, he played the firm but good-natured policeman who brought balance to Fred and Lamont's mischief. Williams continued to build a steady career with roles in 227 and Private Benjamin. Though a respected face on TV for 3 decades, he faced years of financial hardship. His career was never lucrative, forcing him to take voice acting and commercial work to make ends meet. Nathaniel Taylor played Rollo Lawson, Lamont's smooth-talking best friend. Born on March 31, 1938, Taylor's charm made Rollo essential to the show's soul. But after the series, his life took a difficult turn, as producers only saw him as Rollo. As opportunities dried up, Taylor sank into addiction, debt, and scandal, eventually being arrested for theft in 1986. His personal life was turbulent. Despite a long marriage to Loretta Taylor and raising 7 children, addiction and financial instability strained his relationships. In his later years, he tried to redeem himself by opening an acting workshop for youth. He passed away from heart failure on February 27, 2019 at age 80, with an estimated net worth of about $300,000. Howard Platt, who played the awkward but lovable Officer Hoppy Hopkins, was born on June 5, 1938. Hoppy provided a sense of unity during a divided time in America. Platt continued to work in films like Nixon and The Rock, but behind his cheerful screen presence were 2 failed marriages and deep emotional scars. Loneliness and a stagnating career pushed him toward the theater for solace. Eventually, he turned to directing and songwriting, living simply on royalties. Now 87, he lives in Illinois with a net worth of $1 million. Gregory Sierra, who played the polite neighbor Julio Fuentes, was born on January 25, 1937. Despite his talent and an Emmy nomination for Barney Miller, Hollywood typecast him, limiting his career. Frustration and rejection drove him away from the spotlight. His personal life was marked by extreme sorrow. His second wife took her own life just 2 years after their wedding, a loss that devastated him. When cancer returned years later, he refused aggressive treatment and died on January 4, 2021, at age 83. His net worth was around $2 million. Raymond Allen, the perpetually tipsy Uncle Woody Anderson, was born on March 5, 1929. Behind his charming performance, Allen struggled with chronic health issues and long-term alcoholism. His career faded and his marriage collapsed in 1977, leading him into deep depression. Years of heavy drinking led to respiratory failure, and he passed away on August 10, 2020 at age 91, with a net worth of $500,000. Pat Morita, who played the quick-witted Ah Chew, was born on June 28, 1932. He rose to superstardom as Mr. Miyagi in The Karate Kid, but the weight of celebrity led him into severe alcoholism. He struggled with addiction and kidney disease, and despite his success, he remained a lonely figure, often secluding himself in his apartment. He died on November 24, 2005, at age 73, leaving a $5 million estate to foundations supporting Asian American actors. Slappy White, who played Fred's friend Melvin, was born on September 20, 1921. He was a seasoned performer, but by the 1990s, audiences no longer connected with his humor. His romantic life was filled with heartbreak, including divorces from legendary singers Laverne Baker and Pearl Bailey. He sank into alcohol to ease his pain and died of a heart attack on November 9, 1995, at age 74, with a net worth of $300,000. Finally, Marlene Clark played Lamont's girlfriend, Janet Lawson. She was a pioneer in the blaxploitation movement, but after her breakup with Billy D. Williams, she fell into isolation. She never remarried and instead worked as a painter and ran a small restaurant. She died in 2023 at age 85 with a net worth of $2 million. From fame and laughter to heartbreak and solitude, Sanford and Son left behind stories that are more human and tragic than anyone could imagine. Who among them do you think lived the most heartbreaking fate? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more untold stories behind television's greatest legends. Finally, Marlene Clark, born December 19, 1937, played Lamont's girlfriend, Janet Lawson. She was a pioneer in the blaxploitation movement, but after her breakup with Billy D. Williams, she fell into isolation. She never remarried and instead worked as a painter and ran a small restaurant. She died in 2023 at age 85 with a net worth of $2 million.